This is the cheapest scooter in its category, and it comes with the responsibility of replacing the Citycom 300, a scooter that was very successful in our country. But will the Joyride 300 live up to the Citycom's legacy? Watch until the end, and I'll answer that for you. This video covers the Joyride 300's technical features, city and road performance, fuel consumption, insurance, and price. And, of course, my honest opinion with the pros and cons. I'm Amanda Pagliari, and this is Brazil's most charming motorcycle channel. So go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because here we have videos every week with tips, reviews, launches, and much more. The Joyride is manufactured by the Taiwanese company SYM Motor, assembled in Manaus, and of course imported by DAFRA. DAFRA has already brought other very famous models from this Taiwanese SYM Motor to Brazil. First, there's the successful Citycom, but that's not all. There's also the Maxim 400NH, 190NH, 300NHX, 190, Cruisem 150, and also the Cruisem 300. And as I said, it came to replace the Citycom 300. The first thing that stands out on this maxi-scooter is the robust, sporty design with very aggressive, striking lines. I think this scooter is very beautiful, but I want to know your opinion. Do you like it? Don't like it? Write it here in the comments. One thing that stands out specifically about this model is that it's in indigo blue. That's right, the color from the website, right? Because when you look at it, it's not exactly blue, right? It's a color we call chameleon. In other words, it changes color. This blue shifts to purple or green based on the angle and lighting on the scooter. For me, it's the most beautiful color. To answer you, the document listed as fantasy color, not blue. Look how great that is. So if in the future you decide to, I don't know, make it red, for example, you'll be able to change it without having to update the document. The bubble is adjustable. However, you need to remove this cover and use tools to do it. All the lights on the scooter are LED. Very beautiful in my opinion. You have here, look, the daytime running light outlining. Here is the headlight beam, and the turn signals and taillight are 100% LED. The engine comes from the Citycom 300, already updated to Euro 5. Single cylinder with liquid cooling with 278 cubic centimeters, which produces 26 horsepower at 8,000 revolutions per minute and 2.65 kgfm of torque. The final transmission is by continuously variable transmission. In other words, in practice, you just accelerate and brake. You don't have gears. So on the right lever, you have the front brake, and on the left lever, you have the rear brake. And speaking of brakes, there are discs on both wheels with a 2-channel ABS anti-lock system, both in the front and in the rear. The wheels are made of alloy, 15-inch rim in the front, 14 in the rear, and the tires are tubeless. In the front suspension, we have a conventional telescopic fork with 115 millimeters of travel, and in the rear, 2 springs with 100 millimeters of travel. And it has preload adjustment. The important thing is to make the same adjustment on both springs, so you don't unbalance the scooter. And it already comes with a luggage rack, an integrated top case support on the passenger handle, and also a standard center stand. The seat is wide and comfortable. It has this red stitching and 2 leather textures. On the side, a more non-slip texture. I believe it's even to help you hold your legs better. And in the part where you actually sit, there's a smoother leather. Actually, there are 3 textures because the one for the passenger is a little different. I'll get up here so you can see. Take a look. I'm 1.77 meters tall. With the center stand activated, I can put both feet on the ground without difficulty. And it has 77 centimeters from the seat to the ground. Riding position, legs at a 90-degree angle. Those with shorter legs will be able to put them further forward. But for me, since I'm really tall, it's not comfortable, so I only consider one riding position here. This seat has lumbar support, very comfortable. The passenger has a very nice retractable foot peg made of aluminum. Then you come back here and that's it, see? The passenger's legs are very comfortable. Holding on here is also no problem at all. By the way, I found the passenger seat much more comfortable than the rider's seat. And in general, the position of my arms here is no problem at all, very comfortable. And it weighs 171 kilos, not counting the fluids, and its fuel tank has a capacity of 11.5 liters of gasoline. It doesn't have a key here at the cap, but instead a presence sensor smart key. It even has a lock here, which you can use to unlock the scooter, right? And to open the space here under the seat, you just need to have the key nearby and turn this to seat.
There you go, it's open.
You can't fit 2 full-face helmets here, but you can fit 1 full-face helmet and some belongings, like a jacket, backpack, and other items. There aren't any LED lights here on the inside, and to close it, look, just click. The dashboard is a color liquid crystal display screen, 100% digital, and it provides a lot of information. Up here we have the tachometer, a big speedometer here, it's at 0, and on the right side, the fuel gauge. Yellow displays onboard computer info, which can be changed directly on the dashboard. The top displays the clock, the bottom shows the trip. We have 239 kilometers here and oil service info. Here we have the traction control, which we can turn off by pressing here, and that's it. If it appears on screen, traction control is off. When you restart the scooter, it goes back to being on by default, okay, for safety. So moving on, here we have the total odometer, right? 1,579 kilometers, and the trip, there's no trip B, and on the outside we have some indicator lights. And at the top where it says clock, you can change it here to show the battery voltage. Anyway, that's all the information. We don't have trip A, trip B, instant or average consumption, or even an eco mode indicator. On the left bottom panel, we have the horn, left to right turn signals, the headlight, high beam, and the flasher in back. On the right side, we have the ignition button and here the kill switch. Here in yellow is the hazard light. The storage compartment is only on the right, nothing on the left. Press here to open it. You can, for example, put your cell phone inside and close it, and the nice thing is that you have a USB port to recharge your cell phone. Now that I've shown you everything about the Joyride, it's time to ride it through the streets of São Paulo and also hit the road. And if you're enjoying the video so far, how about leaving a like to motivate me to make more videos like this, okay? We're ready, hop on my back seat. Let's check out Joyride's performance here in the city. Right off the bat, I'll tell you that the rear view mirror is a little wider than the handlebars, so you need to be careful not to hit the cars. Yeah, it's not a 150, it's a 300, but even so, I liked its dimensions. They're compact. And most of all, it's an agile scooter. I was really surprised by how agile this scooter is. I thought it would be a little harder to ride. I thought it would be bulkier, but no, it's super light. Its suspension isn't something that's catching my attention in a negative way. Like, for example, the brakes. I thought the brakes could have a little better grip. Wow, I'm impressed with how agile this scooter is. But the brakes, when I braked, it didn't respond the way I expected. I felt like the front brake could be improved. It felt a bit spongy. It was missing just a little bit of braking power, you know. I'm not sure if that's the fluid it's using. It's a new scooter, right? But this unit I'm testing at least made me feel like the front brake could work a little better. So tell me, as a Joyride owner, what do you think? The suspension in general is okay for a scooter. It's not something amazing, but it's also not something that bothers me. The seat is also comfortable, so combined with the tire, I end up with the impression of a comfortable scooter. I'm going to test it on the road and I'll tell you how it is on the road. But here in the city, comfortable, comfortable. Look, for riding in between lanes, I think this scooter does very well. Of course, you have to be careful with the mirrors and the dimensions. But I think that for those looking for a scooter to ride in the city every day, it will definitely meet your needs. So I think it's meant for someone who is looking for a robust scooter to ride in this city. It's the evolution, for example, of the PCX, the NMAX, those 150, 160, 125 scooters. The person wants a more robust scooter. And this one here could be a good option. I'll tell you the price in a moment, which is very competitive. And also for that person who wants an upgrade, for those looking for a second vehicle who already have a bigger motorcycle or a car in the garage and want to get around the city. Or even someone who lives in one city and works in another and finds the scooter more practical. Since the scooter doesn't shift gears, it doesn't ruin your shoes. It has this shield, this barrier here that even protects you from dust and stones. So it actually ends up being even safer if you look at it from that perspective. I recommend the Joyride for beginners. Look, ideally you should start with a smaller scooter, just to get used to the weight, the seat height, and everything else. However, if you really want to, you can start with the Joyride, but then you might have a little more difficulty. Also, if you fall on this scooter, the damage will be worse than on a smaller one, right? Obviously. But it's not just any scooter that is too difficult for you to learn, but whenever possible, start from the bottom. Spend a year and a half riding your entry-level scooter and then get a bigger one. In the city, it's approved. Good performance, acceleration, handling, really good for riding in the city, no doubt. But what about it? How do you think it performs on the highway? Let's check it out. Here on the highway, it does really well. What bothers me is the turbulence. This windshield here doesn't have any technology. The air passes along the sides, creating turbulence on the sides and on top. Wow, above 100 it gets really annoying. But in terms of performance, it does really well on the road. Acceleration, I liked it a lot. For a scooter, where we don't shift gears to get that downshift, that power to overtake, this is more noticeable in a scooter since it has a continuously variable transmission. However, I turned here and it responds quickly. I liked it. I think it has good acceleration and good pickup. Oh. And without a passenger? With a passenger, it'll stay around 120. Yeah, without much difficulty. Let's test the top speed. Going downhill helps us. Wrist tucked in here. The dashboard read 147. but with great effort, the dashboard showed a maximum of 147. Just a reminder about the dashboard. That's not the real speed, right? On the road, I found it very comfortable, nice to drive. The seat is comfortable. And the position of my arms here doesn't bring me any discomfort on the road, and it's very agile. If it's approved in the city, it's also approved on the road. And it's really stable, right? I pass by trucks, yeah. And it stays steady, it doesn't wobble, yeah. And that's it. I think that for anyone looking for a scooter to ride on the road as well, the Joyride is approved. Now let's wrap up the video with the pros and cons. I've already ridden the Joyride a lot. Regarding fuel consumption, we know it depends a lot on the rider. The more you accelerate, the more it's going to consume. There's no way around it. I did some research online, talked to a few owners, and I saw that it averages in the city between 20 and 21 kilometers per liter. That's its fuel consumption. I'll discuss the pros and cons of the Joyride, but keep in mind I'm not the final authority. You can agree or disagree respectfully here in the comments, but first you need to be subscribed to the Motoplay channel. Did you subscribe? Then feel free to comment as much as you want. Let's start with the positive points I found in this scooter. First of all, the design. It's very beautiful. I like this more robust style. I think it stands out. In this color, it looks amazing. I think it's the prettiest color. Whoever rides it will definitely attract attention in a good way, right? It's full LED, which is a design plus. Another good thing about this scooter is the engine. It's really strong off the line. You can feel the strong acceleration, which is another plus. The handling is another really good thing. You see it looking big like this, but when you're riding, you have a scooter that's really easy to handle, so it's really good. Combined with the agility to ride it in the city, even though it's a maxi-scooter. You saw that in the lane there. In heavy traffic, I was able to ride it very easily. Agility is definitely a plus. If approved for the city, it's also good for the highway. Another benefit. The engine has enough power for you to ride on highways with stability. You can reach a good speed safely. To travel between cities or just for a ride, that's a positive point. Another good thing, I could mention the design, right? But I'll leave that for a separate topic. The flat floor. I'm the owner of a scooter, and I chose the one I did because of the flat floor. I think having a flat floor is really cool because you can carry a lot of things. So I think Sanyang Motor managed to create a beautiful, sporty design but still kept the flat floor. We see that more with classic scooters, right? So that's a plus for the flat floor. Agree or disagree right below. Comfort is another positive point, whether it's because of the riding position or the seat. I really liked it. Another thing is that it's good for carrying a passenger, both in the city and on the highway. Whoever sits back here won't have much trouble. The USB port is another positive point here on the Joyride. Just remember that this compartment doesn't have a lock. So if you leave your phone charging here, make sure to take it with you when you park the scooter. Another good thing is that it comes with traction control, which you can turn off. Besides that, smart key, presence sensor, it's very easy, a really cool feature. Then you just put it in your purse, your backpack, and that's it. It makes your life easier. And one last item, but not less important, is the Michelin tires, which are really good and already come from the factory. But I need to make a point here. I saw on the internet that in some places, some dealerships were delivering with other tires. So take a look. If it comes with Michelin, you can go for it. It's guaranteed safety. Now I'm going to talk about the negative points, in my opinion, areas for improvement in the future, starting with fuel consumption. I know it depends a lot on the rider's driving style, but I was expecting something around 30 kilometers per liter, more or less, in line with the competitors. It ended up doing 21 kilometers per liter. I thought the fuel consumption was high. If you have a Joyride, comment below with your fuel consumption. Another thing I don't like about Sanyang Motor scooters in general is the sound of the turn signal. A lot of people, after they buy it, remove that sound. From what I've researched, it seems that over there in Asia, this sound is mandatory. It annoys me, especially since I use my turn signal a lot in daily traffic. That's a downside. The brakes are another downside. I felt that at times they needed more strength, more braking power. The windshield can be adjusted, but you need tools. It's not something you can do on the spot. So for example, if you want to ride with the windshield low in the city and high on the highway, you can't do that. You have to choose one height. There are two heights and stick with it. Unless you carry the tool with you all the time, which is really annoying. In my opinion, it could have a manual adjustment. It doesn't even have to be electronic. Manual would already help a lot. Another thing that might even seem contradictory, since I praised the flat floor, is that I didn't like, let me even show you, it's the flat floor of this scooter. For me, with long legs, my leg stays very level or slightly above the seat. In my opinion, it could be a little lower, so either the seat goes up a bit so my leg is a little lower, or, I don't know, the flat floor goes down. So at first I actually found it strange or weird to ride, but then I got used to it. Okay, but tell me, maybe this impression was just me since I have long legs, but I thought it was kind of weird. Tell me, you Joyride owner, what did you think about its flat floor here? Another downside here with the Joyride, in my opinion, is that the buttons to control the dashboard could be on the left handlebar. That would make things much safer, since you wouldn't have to take your hand off the handlebar, which you need to control the scooter at all times. Maybe in the future they'll be able to add that. And finally, another point for improvement in the future is the dashboard, which I felt was missing, for example, information about average consumption. That would be welcome. Do you have any other positive or negative points about the Joyride 300? Write it here in the comments because I want to know. It is available in 3 colors with a suggested retail price starting at 29,990 Rs, and it comes with a 3-year warranty. When it comes to Brazil nowadays, I could even say that the price is a positive point, right? There you have it. 30,000 Rs for a 300cc scooter. Competitors cost much more, but I prefer the cheaper the better. But I found its price at the moment to be very competitive. Do you agree with me? Write it down below. So that's it. If you like the video, leave a like and share it with your friends on WhatsApp and Facebook groups. Let's bring another scooter option to the Brazilian market for your friends. And, in my opinion, if it lives up to the legacy of Citycom, I think it does. It includes notable electrical upgrades. Now, the motorcycle, 100% adapted to Pro Mod 5, with a very beautiful look, leaves nothing to be desired. In my opinion, compared to the Citycom, maybe the Citycom was a little less comfortable when it comes to the seat, but then owners can comment better here in the comments. I'll leave a video here in the description that I made with the Cruisin' 300, also from Dafra. You can check it out. It might be your best option. There's also a video about the X-Max all here on the channel so you can make the best purchase decision. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you want to become a channel member, you get exclusive benefits. The link is in the description. See you next time. Moto Kiss.